This is Divine Sunshine, and there I am doing a simulcast on two devices. I want to try something new and also go into the clubhouse where you all can be able to talk as well on the chat instead of just being on the side there where I can see the comments. So I am trying something new. I wanted to transfer you all more so where I could talk to you more so on the clubhouse chat. For those of you all that's new, just in case I do get people to walk into the clubhouse room here, the Divine Chat. My name is Divine Sunshine. For those of you all that may be new to who I am, for my regulars that are watching me on YouTube, thank you. On Divine Unisouls 11, I have a channel as well over there in which I have subscribers in which we talk on a weekly basis about what it is as far as being a divine twin soul. I call it Divine Unisoul. So I'm looking at two devices at the same time. So that multitasking as well. And so this is a way for us to be able to connect and understand what's going on. I'm gifted in the able to read through the cards by however I use my clairsentience, and I also use all my senses to be able to tap into the energies as well. So I read the cards. I don't read it as the traditional tarot cards as well. However, I do use whatever spirit channel messages, spirit talk to me, angels, guides, ancestors, and that's the way in which I'm able to channel the messages to you all. Hi, Miss Yolanda, how you doing? Yes. And so what I'm trying to do is, if you all want to talk to me, actually talk to me, go into my community tab, because I'm doing two things, and you'll be able to talk to me on in the clubhouse as well. I can answer questions too, but we can do it this way as well. So I'm just going to keep on, rather, because this is new, until people kind of understand about the clubhouse. So I will be transferring some of the talks over into the clubhouse for us to be able to talk and chat that way too. Okay, so let's tap into the energies about the divine feminine energies as well. If I get somebody new over here, then I can be able to talk to them and tell them what it is. But since we're old over here, old schoolers, we already know what it is to be divine. So I'm going to just shuffle some cards. I'm just going to shuffle instinctively till it tells me to stop, because we're going to tap in, since this is Women's History Month, and we had also international. To stop me here, was we were looking at actually looking at women throughout the month. They have done powerful things. They have changed and impacted the world, and was very interesting. And I seen one of the subscribers, I think it's Dom, he was talking about the Wednesday chat day. Think about a time in which you had did something great, and then see how did that what you had impacted the world. And us as divine feminines, that's pretty much where we are as far as us thinking is about how can we as divine twin flames and light workers be able to take our light and be able to take that and make a difference, make an impact. Now maybe some of us might be famous and end up being like Rosa Parks or whatever, but in our own way, we are making changes. Rather, we are role models in our communities. I think also, as I see, we are getting to the point that what we are doing is asking each other the truth. I've noticed a trend where we're all asking about what's really going on. Are we speaking to people and we're saying we're keeping it 100, but are we in the position to be able to handle truly the truth about what is being reflected to us, not only within ourselves, but also in the world as well, or even in our friendships, or even our, hey, 456 in the mix, how you doing? Those things. And just really, truly seeing how is that benefiting us, and really seeing, being truthful with ourselves to say, okay, can I create the change about the things that's being reflected to me in the world that I'm not liking? This is where we are. So in the energies for the divine feminines here, we got a little different one, because I feel with the divine feminine energies, especially we got this new moon that's in Pisces. And this is a great time because again, it's a lot of emotional things going on, but sometimes through that emotional storm, things are created. Some things that maybe in that way of, you might be saying, I'm tired, I'm not going to take it anymore, like I see Miss Yolanda. And sometimes that helps us to propel us to get up to say, okay, I'm going to do something totally different than I had did before, or I'm just not going to keep on doing this because I'm tired of the madness. During this Pisces moon, we know Pisces is a beautiful sign, not only because it's my mom's, but it is a beautiful sign because it houses all. She always tell me Pisces got a little bit of everything. All the signs are in there. Also, it's beautiful because that is always highly intuitive, the intuitiveness, but you also are, they're very magical, very imaginative, where this is the time now that as divine feminines, we are taking our energies of being able to vision and visualize where we actually want to go. And this taking that power there and propelling that to create this change with this new moon that's coming up. And this is really a prime time. Almost you played the song. This is a prime time by Janelle Monáe that we are actually propelling ourselves to do this. Now, I pulled the cards here and it's a dominant culture and tradition. This is called a Zulu Woman. I don't know if you see this. See how beautiful this picture is here? Okay, so this is the overall energies that I had picked up here too. And it says the Zulu, also known as the Amazulu, are self-proclaimed people of heaven, found largely in Africa, Zimbabwe, and Malawi. Okay, written Zulu history dates back to the 14th century, forming the largest ethnic group of South Africa. Zulu is the dominant language, characterized by clicking sounds spread across a stretch of South Africa's east coast. The former Zulu kingdom boasts one of the sub-Saharan Africa's most eclectic blend of wildlife, history, and culture. Women are in the charge of the home, raising children, cultivating the land. They make Zulu beer, a considerable source of daily nutrition, carrying social and ritual significance. They are the keepers of oral narratives, reciting stories, praise poems, proverbs, explaining Zulu history and moral teachings. Now, in my think of using intuitive insight with this, you can use anything. I've seen anybody use even some alphabet cards for you to be able to read or to be able to let source use them to tell a message. What jumps out for me for this about the Zulu woman and this overall energies just from taking this card is telling us that we need to step into the power of leadership. Okay, hey, Charm Timeless, where we need to be as far as when we're talking about our children. That means our children could be our dreams, raising our dreams, raising these new opportunities, understanding that where we're getting our nutrition, which to me, they're at the forefront, watching what we're eating, what we are physically eating, well, so it's spiritual eating, food for thought, those things, carrying social and ritual significance. What are we doing? Again, going back to what Dom is saying, what have we done that has created this change or impacted the world that we're in, not only for ourselves, but for other people? This is what they're saying here again. So we got to think about right now where we are as divine feminists. Our main mission right now is about the social, how we interact with other peoples, and rituals. What are we doing every day, almost habitually, without us thinking, that may or may not be suiting us or may not be benefiting us? This is where we are. Okay. And okay, and so this is where we are. Okay, so we got to, interesting, my thing says we got to change the narrative, the oral narrative, because I'm looking over there and I'm seeing Miss Yolanda saying somebody's lying. So that goes back to us again. What ways are we doing that we are feeding into that we need to make sure that we step into the role of making ourselves go higher or be above all of that madness that's going on, especially like I'm saying about the emotions that's going on during these times. So they said again, we are the keepers of oral narratives. That means what are we speaking and speaking life into? What are we feeding into that? What are the stories that we are reciting over and over again and maybe keeping us perpetually in that continuous loop? What are the things, the praise and the poems, which means to me that would say, how are we using our praise? How are we affirming things? How are we using our high vibrations to uplift things, to transmute and transform things as well? And so I would say also it's a Proverbs, okay? And so we know again, that again is again Proverbs is more so of understanding that's a lot of deeper meanings behind the usage of the words and the written communications that we are doing. So to me, when I see this again, this major thing is what are we speaking? Are we speaking life in our communication while we're writing it or we are saying it? Okay. And this is where it is, where I'm seeing the overall thing is again, you can't, are you speaking your truth? I would say that would be the overall thing. Are you speaking your truth, divine feminines, right now? And how are you going about that as far as you socializing other people as well in that? The overall, the energies clear in which we are dealing with right now currently is we're right there at the precipice of the door to spirit. Is over here. I'm sorry. Door to spirit. So to me, I see a dove there. So we're right there at the cusp of opening up the door to spirit to let in this new. I feel like it's like what's that one that talk about cool waters? And he said, "Can't you feel the prana? Can't you feel the prana?" So it's like again, can you feel the energy changing and shifting? There is a newness, not only because again, spring is coming. You can feel it. Those of us that are very empathic, they're clairsentients, they can sense there's a newness, not only in the earth, but in the energy that is really palatable, that's saleable, that you can really feel that, hey, it's this joy that goes beyond understanding, that you feel like something is right there around the corner. Okay. So also they're saying in our also it has the man holding the coins. Now this is for the divine feminine energies. When we're talking about the divine masculine within ourselves, when I think about coins, I think about how are we having a handle on the things of material things in our world. How are we able to be able to do that? How are we able to take that information or the things that we're doing within ourselves internally and actually making sure that we are the word of the, so far the new current word is behold. How can we behold? How can we take that thing and revere that and saying, okay, like I keep on seeing the scene for Roots where he holds up the baby and say, behold, anything greater than yourself. So the sky, the source, those things. Okay, God, it does shine. That means divine. So this is where we are. So in order for us to have that union within ourselves, we've got to have a good handle and be comfortable in the material in the 3D world. A lot of times we don't. A lot of times divine feminine, and I've said that before, and I didn't even know that for myself. You feel very comfortable in the spiritual world. I could do things, but again, when you transfer and you try to make that connection from the spirit into the physical things, trying to make things manifest, try to get prosperity, make people and make connections with people, whether it's your divine counterpart, things get a little shaky, get a little flaky. Okay. And so this is what the overall energies that they want us. They want us to be suave and debonair and truly divine in our place and understanding that, you know what, prosperity is our birthright. And prosperity don't have to be about money or anything. It just means anything that makes you happy, that puts you in your bliss. That is what we're talking about in the 3D. Okay. So this is the overall energy. So again, opening up the door to spirit to be able to let it rush on in and then create what is happening to manifest into the 3D. Okay. And have a good handle on it. Because sometimes, to be honest with you, and I can be, and I'm probably not the only one, I know people can say that. Sometimes you think you got a good handle on it and you got a good ingredient. Thank you. You can't hear because I'm using my phone. You got a good handle on things, and you got a good affirmation, you got a good prayer saying, and sometimes it kind of works for a while, and then after a while you try to use it again and you're like, what in the world happened? I did my formula, I prayed, I thank him, and I did the next step that I usually do, and something about the formula things, it changes. And so that's why I said sometimes you like, what happened? You have a good grip on it today and maybe not tomorrow. Okay. And so that's just something that Spirit wants us to make sure that we are getting ourselves in alignment and truly can do that. Now, a lot of times, sometimes we do that because, again, maybe our mindset is not time. Spirit is like, no, I don't want you to have that. But at the same time, sometimes it's our mindset. We just not in the right mindset to be able to handle that too as well. Okay. And that's the problem there. That's the problem there. We got to get to the point when I turn this way, I got it. There's like we got to get to the point that we're consistent in manifesting and have that good hold on the making things happen from spirit, transfer from spirit into the 3D. That's where we have to get into. Okay. So now I got my ISIS cards. I ain't pulled this out in a minute. I mean, more than a minute. Let me stop lying. So, so let's look at the energies as far as us getting into our goddessness. What is it the spirit wants us to be able to do? So here we go. Pillar of light. Pillar of light, burning bright, earth star below, soul star above. Burn away all that is not light. Transform all unconditional love. Star of Isis, descend your blessings and peace within. Grace me now with peace and protection, completely embraced by divine perfection. Pillar of light. Pillar is a representative of foundation. You can't have your structure, rather you see in a lot of in Egyptians or Greek or Roman architects, those pillars are there to hold up the top of the roof, okay, or whatever it is, it's holding up the building. And so in order for us, and also in the twin flames, a lot of times when I see in cards, if I see pillars or columns, that represents the foundation of the connection too as well. We got one pillar here. So that means in order for us to be able to have that foundation, we got to start with ourselves. Okay. This is one. That means us. So how are we pillars of light? I think about source and how it's being able to shine the light and to bring it down to us. And a lot of times when we do our meditations, we ask for it to come through our body, through all our chakras, to help us to ground ourselves. And it says earth star below, soul star earth star below, soul star above. So how are we making that connection? I would say to you all divine feminines, if you're not using that practice, make sure that you are doing things that you are grounding yourself and linking yourself to source, as well so as Mother Gaia to the ground as well. Okay. Hey, Mimi. So make sure you have that connection as well when you're doing in your meditation, that white light, that pillar of light that's streaming all the way from source. So we would do a meditation. You would see a white light opening up at your crown chakra, going all the way down into your other chakras as well, your third eye. You got going down into your throat. It's going down now into your, I call it still bliss center. I always include that in too. Your bliss center into your heart chakra, moving all the way down into your manifesting. Your manifesting chakra is right here. Moving from your manifesting chakra all the way down into your solar plexus. See that white light coming from your solar plexus down into your sacral, and from your sacral down into your root. And see it going all the way down from your root all the way through your legs, filtrating down to your foot star, to your foot there, to your grounding there. And then you ground it all the way down and taking that white light to go all the way down into the center of the earth. And let that light now from the center of the earth now find itself filtrating and bouncing all the way back up through all of those chakras again, your foot, your root, your sacral, your solar, all the way through your manifest, to your heart, to your bliss, all right there to your heart right there, and make that have that connection right there in your heart. Now take that energy of that white light, and now let's take it and expand it from your room where you're sitting. Take it from the room that you're sitting, expand it to the place or the building that you are. Take that energy now for that white light from the space and where you are, and now span it out towards now the block. Now span it out towards the city. Span it out into the state. Span it out all over the globe of Earth. And now span it out into outer space. And always take that white light and take it all the way to the ends of the earth, all the way to the ends of the universe. And now take all of that energy bouncing out for the ends of the earth and coming right back to you, to your heart. So that is how you will be able to now take that energies and making sure that you are grounded and becoming one with the universe. Okay, so that's again how you can become a pillar. Burn away all of that is not light. So again, one thing I would say to you is also use the Saint Germain prayer. I am a being of fire. I'm the purity of God's desire. Burn it with that violet flame. Anything that you need to forgive that you have not forgiven, use that as well. Taking that up there, you pretend like you're in a ball of violet fire. You take it from your feet all the way up and burn that energy so you can burn everything that is not like you. Now, the way you can be able to transform all into unconditional love is a lot of times when you're transforming and to transmute things is another way in which you can be able to transform things, because you are clearing and changing it and making it into a much higher level, vibrate on a higher level. You're taking it to the highest, the purest for all concerned, all that's involved. So you take that and you transmute it. How can you do that? Sometimes, again, if you're in a funky mood or a messed up mood like that, you will go and do something and create something. And sometimes you don't have to be, you can be in a happy mood and you still go and you create things. Again, in love, doing those things that, remember, again, unconditional love. That's kind of a little hard for us, again, while we're in this human body, for us to be able to do that, because a lot of times we okay, thank you. Okay, bye. We want to place conditions, and sometimes we place conditions on things involuntarily. We don't know we're doing it. It's like an underlying thing that we're saying. If they don't do it the way we want them to do, we place conditions. Okay, well, I'm not going to speak to them till they speak to me. Conditions. Welcoming in things on your terms. Conditions. There's a difference between conditions and having boundaries. Okay. I think sometimes we get a little kind of confused between the two, of how we will be able to have healthy boundaries, but at the same time, some of the boundaries are we putting up there. Again, we have to accept. Yeah, I'm with you on that. But in the same time, we've got to, again, shift out what things are that's really not for our highest good too, and our highest purpose. And how we have to do that, we have to shift it out and weigh it against our heart. I'm seeing them showing me like a scale where you got one's a feather and one is you got weighed down, and you can tell which one serves you, which makes you feel heavy, like I can't do that, or what makes you feel light at the same time. So we have here, they say, star of Isis descendants, your blessings and peace without end. To me is, again, getting a peace without that goes beyond understanding too in certain situations, and to completely embrace by divine perfection. I watched the show the other day, And they were saying that, and I thought that was a beautiful statement. They're saying, you know what, in order for you to be able to show your flaws or show your quirks or show what makes you different, or it's not better, he had a better word than flawed, so that really takes bravery for you to do that. I think a lot of times we're scared to really show those parts that are the good. With the good we'll show, the bad and the ugly, it takes a little while. We're scared about other people's reactions to that, but at the same time, us being divine, that stops us from really truly excelling and going to the next level on things, because we are so busy about how we're showing up. Is it right? Are we doing this right? I can think about friend, I'm not gonna name names, that likes to make sure they get things perfect before they send it out there for people to see. And sometimes you just got to just send it out there, because if you were wanted to the point that you're perfectionist about it, it might not ever, that piece of material or that publication or whatever, it may not ever be seen by anybody, because you're trying to make it oh so perfect. I got another confirmation, a thing, a chime. You can't hear because it's on my phone. And so it chimed. And so this is something in which we've got to get to the point of accepting ourselves. I know that even when I'm dealing with the divine counterpart with him, uh, when I am at the point that I'm accepting all parts of me and I'm talking myself through it and I'm saying it's okay, maybe I could have did it better, but guess what? That's the way I chose to show up at that time. The best thing for me to know at that point is to be able to correct afterwards and say, okay, I didn't like it. I didn't like the reaction that it was from other people, and I will change it next time. I think about even I seen the other day on Married at First Sight. I'm on that thing again. And the young lady had taken him as a surprise to go for some salsa dancing. And he was of Hispanic descent. And she thought because he was Hispanic, he would, would be able to master all different types of dancing. And he's like, well, if she would have took me to do the merengue, I would have jammed. But I'm not professed. I'm not good at doing the salsa work. And so he was trying to get the steps. He was trying to get the steps. He was trying to get the steps. And the steps didn't come together. He was messing up. And you could tell he was getting mad. And so she was like, she's talking to him. She's like, well, how did you like it once it was over with? And he was like, it was okay. And so you could tell, when you're talking to somebody and their answers is short, that they weren't feeling about what was actually going on. And so then she was like, okay, well, she said, well, I wanted to surprise you. We talked about earlier we would go dancing. And so she's like, I wanted to surprise you with that. So how you feel? I'm okay. Okay. She said, well, I had, man, we'll probably do this again. So he was going back and forth. She was trying to make him feel good. And at the end of the day, she said, you know what? I feel kind of like a little funny, you kind of acting a little funny vibe. So, I'd rather for you to be honest with you. Did you like it? No. He was talking about someone about the room. He was so out of it that he was talking about, I don't like the room. And she's like, okay. So my thing is for that is that a lot of times we can't be expected to show up to be perfect. That was really a time that him and the young lady could have laughed and had bonded over it. And now the young lady is now, because on the show Married with First Sight, that means they married right there on the spot. And so now she's looking at him saying, oh my God, what I've gotten into. Because it seems like every time when he does things, and it's like the other time they had a fight, he had dropped the champagne and she said, oh, that's so Vinny of you. And he got upset. He's like, you talking down to me. And she said, well, I was just playing with you. I don't understand what's the problem. And so his thing is every time when he wants to do things perfected, his shadow comes out. And he doesn't know how to handle things like that. So again, he lashes out at her. My thing is, again, we can't get to the point that we are doing things in a perfectionist way that it stops us from really enjoying the moment. He messed up. He did not enjoy the moment of going out dancing with the young lady. And that could have been a bonding opportunity instead of them being one way of him saying, no, I wasn't good enough. I mean, that was their first time dancing together. That was again, salsa is not his thing. So that's again, this is a divine feminine. Some things is just not our things, and we have to excuse ourselves. We have to give us the authority to say, hey, it's okay to not be okay. And this is where we are. And when we get to that point where we're okay to not be okay, that's another way in which our divine masculine will stick close to us like wallpaper. I've seen it. I can tell you what I've done. I can give you the keys to union and knowing that what's happened when you accept every part of yourself, the good, bad, and the ugly, because you got to remember again that what your counterpart is made up of you. There's another ingredient in you. They just stepped outside of yourself and showed up into the 3D. And so when you get to that point that you accept all of that, you'll be able to be empathetic to him or to them or your divine feminine, divine masculine. You'll be able to put up healthy boundaries and be able to recognize when they're healthy boundaries and not boundaries that you coming from ego that's saying danger, real Robinson danger. It's a difference. I put up boundaries. Yeah, okay. But again, where is the going back to the pillar? Where the pillar's at? The pillar thing. I put it up. Going back to the pillar, where is it is a foundation that you are stamping in or you're putting that stake in and say, I am building my foundation upon that. Because if it's building upon ego, I guarantee you it's going to crumble and fall. And there's no way you can be able to transfer that into the relationship with your divine counterpart, not all alone with yourself. And that's where we are with the divine feminine's energies right now, is that we have got to, especially with this emotional times and this new moon in Pisces being very emotional, we've got to be able to tune into ourselves, into our bodies, understand that again, when it's okay to give ourselves a pass. And that's where we are. So here on our soul's journey right now with the energies with the divine feminine is to understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. And this is interesting. This is in orange, which again, that's the sacral energy. That means about how we're manifesting. Again, going back to how they want us, source is saying for us to have that grip of things in the 3D. There's some things, material things in the 3D we need to let go. Spirit has been telling us that because we don't have a good handle on it. And when we don't have a good handle on something, sometimes that is source's way of saying, you know what, it's time to let us have it. And this is where we are. Some of us are we at this point is this grieving. We too are in this emotional thing, almost going through a dark night of the soul or a tower. Like I seen somebody was saying that there's like, just because it's a tower moment, that don't mean it's a crash and burn. Yeah, I think that's divine maverick. It's not a crash and burn when it's coming down on you. Sometimes it's one of those ones that is just a lesson that needs to be learned. Because in order for you to get that, you won't be able to elevate and to grow and go to the next level. Okay. And so this is where we are right now. It's grieving time. You know, the process of grieving, you know, you get angry, you in denial, then you get moved to the point where you acceptance and you just move on. I know that even with the passing with my dad, my brother, my adopted grandmother, you know, with each death is different. Everybody is not the same with each situation that you have. Thank you for your time, Dawn, again, to be divine. Each one is different. But at the same time, you know, in order for you to begin something, you got to end something. And some of us, this is where we are as far as in our emotions. It is time for us to let go, especially those connections with people. Because some of these things they're coming up for us, these emotionals, or some of us might be having some blow ups. I'm picking that up too with people, is because there's some toxicity that spirit wants you to get rid of. Now you can do it nice, or you can do it the nasty way, or a source can take over and just totally wipe them out. Okay, so this is what they're saying about divine feminine energies right now is in your foundations. What foundations of friendships and relationships that you have, that right now it is time to grieve. It's time to let go. because they don't suit you from where you're going right now, especially when you're on your road to being elevated. All right. So, what I have over here, I got it. So the energies that source want us to start, let's start getting into some solutions. How I'm doing. Okay. So as far as divine feminine energies, and we're talking about, it wants us to get into, we got Lilith here. Okay, and that's interesting. I did this morning my meditation. That was one thing called in. That was interesting. The first woman, I am the voice of my body and soul. I choose the life that I desire to live. Let's go surpass. And I know Lilith has gotten a bad rap, but when I look at Lilith, Lilith to me is one that is within the shadows, doing the shadow work, that I look at the way of it, and still saying I'm still pushing forward and I'm still getting knowledge as I do. I think about a set of cards that I have there, that it has Lilith, and she is naked, and all in the background is dark. She's like a jungle in the forest there, and she's got this apple here. Still in that, when I look at that, that tells us all of us have shadows. We cannot deny that. We have a darkness. That's the same thing. Like if you went on the playground experience and you seen, I had Jennifer and Kathy from Saint Germain, Soul Sisters, on his Starseed Soul Sisters on here, and she helped us to open our eyes about the light and the dark and the shadow. That's like the yin yang. You got dark and you got the white, and the darkness has a little white and the white has a little dark in there. That's a balance in there. And that's again what I say, going back to what I said of us being totally accepting of everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We have to, this is about the second time this came out with my reading and others, where we got to pay attention to our body. You can tell when somebody is good for you. When we talk about toxic people that's good with you, you get that feeling, something tense up. Maybe you get to talking. It's like, well, every time when I talk to this person, my throat get to closing up, you know, or after they talk to me, my throat close up. Well, maybe you're not speaking your voice. Maybe you're not saying your piece about it. All of it's getting stuck just right here instead of you expressing that. The why every time when I talk to somebody, my side hurt, my stomach hurt, and look like I get an upset stomach every time I come on the job. Well, it's something about on the job you're not stomaching, you're not digesting, you're not understanding. So that is, or every time I get a headache, that means you're under pressure, you're stressed. So you have to pay attention to your body and your soul there, because even in that pain or that work or that darkness or that negativity of an effect that you're feeling is also helping you to understand you've got to choose life. What's the life that you truly want to desire at this point? And that's why it's not so as to inconvenience you. I like that word that they brought to me. The word is inconvenience you by having these pains. Like, you know, I really can't deal with this headache because I got a lot of stuff I got to do. But it's again, it's a signal to you like, hey, stop. Let's deal with this. What's going on here that you got this headache that just came out of the blue, like I did yesterday? What do you feel like you're under pressure? And why all of a sudden that issue or that condition that you had a long time ago had passed away, and now it's jumping back on you with your stomach and your side? What's going on with that? What does it mean? Stop and really truly see. And if you don't know, you like to hear some people talk, I don't know why it's happening. Then Google it. Google is your friend, like my principal say. The internet is your friend. You can go and Google that up and find out that information to know, what does the stomach mean spiritually when it hurts? What does it mean my hand or my right finger and my index finger or something hurts as well? Maybe at the same time something you need to point out. Well, you ain't been pointing out. You ain't been lazy being focused on it. Maybe why your index finger is hurting. You know, things are like that. Or your right hand, you know, what's going on with that? So all of these things here help you to understand that those are triggers, another way of warnings within yourself to let you know, hey, you need to deal with this certain situation. So the Lilith is the first woman. To me, when I think about that, the first woman is going back to that one pillar. Why did I put this up? That one pillar that they showed us here about the pillar of light. When it all comes down to it, you're the first woman. You're it. Like tag, you're it. There's nobody else that should come before you. Because if you're putting the needs of other people in before you, that in some ways is another aspect of codependency. because some kind of way you feeling that you revealing and putting them first, that helps to help you in return. And it's a feed off of energy, of the energy of exchange that's negative, that's not positive. And that's another way of as far as you also bringing codependency, and you're not putting your needs first either. And this is another push about that new foundation that they're really pushing you to do, as far as you being the pillar of light, you being divine, which means everybody, if they're saying you're a pillar of light, that means you are the one that people are looking at. Your shine attracts them to you. And so you are the one that is the way shower of the path. And so again, we have to remember, if you are first, just like first lady or the president, the first lady, like we look at Michelle Obama, how she dressed, how she look, how she carries herself. She's like the model woman that all of us would want to pretty much pattern ourselves. Well, we put our own twist to things. And that's what our role as divines is too, as well. But we have to be our own woman to ourselves first. And that's what I pick up from this card. I got to be my own woman to myself first. Forget everybody else that's on the outside, but I gotta say yes to myself. I think about Pretty Woman. She said she told she told Richard Gere in the thing. She's like, I tell the people who my clients when, how, what. I rule this. I might be a prostitute, but I still at the same time telling people what I want. I'm not letting them tell me about that. I ain't letting nobody take control of me. And say you might got my body, but you ain't getting all the rest of this extra stuff. And that's where I think of when I think about the first woman. I come first. I am my lady. I hear the song. You are my lady. You're everything I need and more. Oh, you are my lady. You're all I'm living for. All right, so you are your lady. So you have to sing that song to yourself. Listen here, you are my lady. You like, you darn right I am. That's right. So again, you're saying that to yourself, and how you expressing about you being the first woman. I come first, okay? That Sasha Fierce, that Beyonce-ish to everything. So our next thing is what they want us. Let's go into what is it that they want us, some affirmations. Let's have some affirmations that we need as far as this. The affirmations, clear. Ooh, memories. I do not focus on what is already gone. I choose to show up fully for myself and others in the present moment. That goes back to this pillar of light. That links on to that. Then we talk about, and I said about getting with the flame of the violet fire. Burn away all that is not light. Forgiveness, really transforming all into unconditional love. The memories. So some of us, again, our past is plaguing us. It is stopping us. It is blocking us, because some of us are focusing to, this is what they bring it to me. And we've all heard this cliche. You're driving, but you're looking in the back, in the rear view mirror. You're driving, and you're looking back like you're going backwards. You're driving in reverse. But you say, I'm trying to go forward, but I'm driving in reverse. So we've got to watch that as far as what we're talking about, the memories, and seeing how we are showing up for ourselves first. That's half our problems, because divine feminines are always in that receptive, in that not receptive mode. That's what we got to work on. But we always are giving of our energies. And we got to learn how to saying, pull it back, pull in that bowl and have it out there receptive. Say, I'm here to receive. And that's the thing that we have to do. We got to show up for ourselves first. And again, be that pillar of light for ourselves first, be that first woman. And then we can be able to shine for everybody else. And I think also that's another thing that I'm hearing them saying with Lauren Hill. How you gonna be right with? How you gonna win when you ain't right within? How you gonna win when you ain't right within? How you gonna win when you ain't right within? Think again. You cannot do that unless and be a pillar of light from everybody else if you can't even shine the light on yourself. You just can't do that. We've got to get ready and get right within ourselves. A lot of us are not. We have to be honest. If we say right now, our divine counterpart or whatever we being set up for, even on our mission and stuff, we're not ready for it. Another thing on the twin flame journey here, and a lot of readers, and we all been guilty on it, that push for the mission. That's outside of self. If again, like Lauren Hill, if you ain't right within, you can't win. You've got to get that together. Get your house in order first, and then you can be able to take that show on the road. Now, there are some, and they're bringing me also an exception to the rule. There are some that they need to have that outside motivation for them to be able to say, oh, I'm going to create the change inside, because something about the outside helps to fuel them. That gives them that energy that wants them to do that. And that happens from time to time. Sometimes you say, I'm going to step out there and do a little bit of my mission, because that helps me to say, okay, I'm ready to power up. That's like my kids. We got a game that we play in classroom, and they like, oh, Miss Booker, how you used it to power up? I got some points. And so now that's how I was able to get an 80 on the little quiz thing, because I use it to power myself up. Well, sometimes you do need that extra little boost on the outside to that. But the problem is when we're looking on the outside to help fuel us within, there's henceforth, that's the problem. And some of us, that's where we are on this journey. So again, here we look at this. Our next one, which is the Mystic Rebel deck. Oh, I like that. Mystic Rebel deck. Let's look and see what they're saying for us on this one. Oh, I love it when it does this. This is like divine. They're saying, doop. I love it. Can't get any better than that. Be your authentic self. Be your most authentic. That means, like the kids say, zero, no higher. You need to be your authentic self. And I said that before, like before. Show up. I wish I could have got the exact thing, but it was something like, if you flawed or you're a misfit. Yeah, it is. Be those who are that are misfits, and they show up in that way. They are the bravest, because they are brave to show their misfit selves to the world. And that's still vulnerability in it, and that's bravery into that. Thank you. Because you don't know it chimed in. I know you can't hear the notification, so I have to tell you when it chimes because I'm on the phone. So that is a way in which you are able to really empower yourself by saying, this is how I'm showing up. That's the same thing when your divine counterpart comes up. You've got to be, I show all the goofiness. Sometimes I see him like, Lord have mercy, this child. I mean, do you turn your brain on? Sometimes I be here, be like, he get to call me, Bergina. I'm like, huh? I'm talking to you. What? Okay. And he's like, I can hear the way. I'm like, I can hear you right when you like in your mind, right? So my thing is, but I said at this point, I ain't gotten to the point where I was like, I gotta show up like this, because if we gonna do this for the long haul, I can't be sitting up here putting on no facade with him, knowing that sometimes I could be back crazy. And I can't do that. I can't hold up the facade like that, knowing I got a little quirk about myself. He's got to learn how to be able to dance around that quirk. And just like he got quirks too, I got to be able to dance around his quirks too, or be able to deal with it, dance around it, deal with it head on, or even teach him to say, hey, let's do it a better way. Just like the gentleman with the dancing, coming back full circle. I know some of y'all say, she be doing them talk about the married at first sight and them stories. Where's the point? The point is that him showing up like that and having that tantrum that he throwed out there to talk about, no, I didn't like the salsa dancing, and not knowing how to deal with when he's messing up or he makes mistakes. That's a teachable moment as your partner, to show them lovingly how to do it in a different way, to say, hey, it's okay. But again, when these blow ups come up and you don't know how to handle it, and you're afraid of being embarrassed, this is what you should do. Not teach them, but maybe show them, model them, coax them, nurture them in their way, so they could be able to choose a different way, in a certain way. Sometimes he say straight up, I need to change, and say something, or he'll give me a teachable moment, or vice versa. I tell him, and that's what we're here for. to show the things, and maybe they might be there to say, hey, you need to correct that in their sweet little divine way. Or they might say, hey, you know what, that's you, I ain't gonna mess with that, you go ahead and keep on being that, because I think that makes up you, and that's another thing that makes you unique, and that's what makes me love you. So that is what we need to understand. That so now going on to back what is their authentic self. Be your most authentic self, quirks and all, craziness all, singing and all, whatever it is that it is. All they're going to do is shake their head or whatever, and that's it. But I'm not here to show up for you, because what we just learned from this reading is what? I'm the first woman. I'm here to show up for me. I'm here to be my own pillar of light to me, and then everything else shines. But when you do that, they just taught me to that's well. They say when you do that, you give other people permission to be themselves too. And isn't that what everybody wants to do? To just be able to show up and to be themselves like that, the authentic selves. That is that's what we're here for, is to be the truth, to be able to change other people's minds as well, not them to change ours. But again, if there is a way that we're going wrong, then we shift it in our heart and to see, hey, maybe it is something to what they're saying. Maybe it's too many people. I think about my mom saying, listen here, child, if you got about 2 or 3 people come talk to you about the same issue with you, guess what? They ain't got the problem. Who got the problem? You do. It's something going on with you that you got to change. And sometimes there is some validity in it. All these other people can't be crazy either about what they're seeing as well. So as we wrap up, the last card that I have here is also from the Power of Love activation from James Van Prague. He said the goal while inhabiting human form is to manifest love in this physical dimension. So as divine feminists during this time, what is our power of love that we need to manifest while we are being human? Nope, you ain't the one. You just slid out of default. Here it is. Okay, as we wrap it up, which is thank you for those that had rocked with me. I just said this, and we just said this, discernment, to be able to know the difference, almost like what's the power of serenity, to know the difference, the things that what I can change, the things that I can't change. Also to discern about what is truly me and what's truly not me as well. What is the light and the shadow to this? As I'm doing connections with other people, and as well as I'm dealing with myself. It says you are developing the skill to distinguish love from fear and truth from illusions. That wraps it up with a nice red bow, doesn't it? And then we have elevation. You are making the conscious decision to raise your vibration of love. And I told you we're elevating, and we are making a conscious decision, because if we're going to make that firm foundation of that pillar of light, we've got to use discernment, and we got to make conscious decisions in order to raise our vibrations for love too as well. Okay. And then we need to practice empathy. And I just said that with your partner as well. That's why I say about the DM. Empathy about how we're looking at them, how we can be able to help them, how we can be ourselves in them shoes, why they're acting the way they're acting, not only with them, but then turn that in with ourselves. I think sometimes it is on this journey, and I think just being human, period, it's much easier to be empathetic to others than it is to ourselves. I'll say that again. It's easier to be empathetic to others than it is to ourselves. We are, as the cliche say, we are our worst critic. And that causes us a problem to be able to really truly see how divine we are, especially as divine feminines, because we are in the leadership role. And if we don't see ourselves as divine, how are we going to be able to see our partner as divine? How are we going to be able to see the world as divine? How are we going to be able to change the world if we don't see that within ourselves? Hey, sister. Hey, sister. We've got to get to that point where we got to, as Michael Jackson said, make that change. So as we wrap this up, is a nice pretty bow on it, is to make sure that we become that pillar of light as divine feminines, because we are in that divine feminine role, is in the leadership for ourselves. Like I said, you are my lady. I am first. What does it say? Ooh, ladies first. Ladies first. Remember that from Queen Latifah? I know I'm dating myself. So you got to come into that where you are ladies first. You are first. You are the first lady, okay, of your own government, of your own world, of your own divine or your divinity as well. Don't forget as well, I'm on my little itty bitty phone. I don't know if I'm able to show that. Yes, I am. Is it changing? Is that the brand? No, I can't do it on my little phony. There it is in the corner. Hold on a second. That's not the one. Hold on. You know, when I'm doing this stuff. All right. So again, as I wrap up, don't forget to get your tickets at for the Ground Zero experience, which is $25. That's going to be on April the 4th. April the 4th. After 3 days later on, shameless plug, is my birthday. And so again, April the 4th is, that would be a nice birthday present. You buy yourself a ticket to the event. We got a lot of nice people that are coming on to it. I don't know if I can. Can I put that up here? Let me look at the photo library. Let me see. Hang with me 1 second. I'm trying to change things and do that at the same time. Okay, it's uploading. Okay, there we go. So we got a lot of nice people that are coming. Here is the lineup so you can know exactly who is going to be there. We got April Williams, Kathy D, Benita, Coach Michelle O'May. We got a yoga instructor coming. Kathy and Jennifer are going to be on. You got Patricia McNeely, and then I'm going to be speaking as well. So you want to make sure that you get your tickets. If you go in the community tab, you'll see there, and you get link. Click on the link that's talking about my GoDaddy, a letter, my email things, what it is that you blast that I have there. I put a link in there. If you go into that one, and those of you that's already subscribed to my email things through MailChimp, that I sent out. I sent you an invitation so you can get a deep discount on the event as well. So I sent it 2 ways. If you're not on my emails, please email blast. Thank you. I felt Leslie send it to me. Thank you. Thank you very much. If you're not on my email blast, please make sure that you do sign up and subscribe. Go into the community tab. It's right there for you to be able to do that. I put in a discount for that. It's for the event, and you got to put in the code for it as well. And then also, what else is it? Is there anything else that I'm having? Oh, and we're giving out nice prizes as well for that. If we got a Yoni's theme that we're going to do, drawing on a Yoni's theme that we're doing package, and past life regression session, hypnosis, you'll get that too. And then I'm doing my 30-day transformational program as well with support. That means I will help you. We got some readings, and you could call a little bit in there too as well. So that one's, all that stuff is $800 there. But we're going to raffle those off, those each one of those packages too. And then if you get at the event, we're going to give you a workbook. We're going to give you a meditation. And then we're also going to give you a journal writing activity video that you could do at your own leisure too. And that's you're going to get free with the event for $25. So you got 4 hours of our virtual content that we have. If I retreat from 2 and it ends at 6, you can do it at any time that you want. Once you purchase the ticket, you have the link to the event, and you can play it at any time that you want to, if you can't make the live. So I would make sure that I will get that as well for that, because it's a very good event as well. I'm just very excited about it. You can hear about it. So I want to see you all in place so you can get all these goodies. We have a series, so this will be the first of the series, and the next one will be on 6688 1010 11. And that's how it goes. So the next one, so that'll be the first one. 66, yeah, 4466. That's the next one. They'll be there. Okay. All right then. And if you want to again get a personal reading with me, please go to divineunisouls11.co. And you can get that reading there. Any type of reading that you're looking for, a personal reading, you and your person's reading, past life regressions reading, to know what your mission and purpose. That's been very popular too. Mission and purpose. I've done that too as well. And then make sure that you click like and share and subscribe to this. Make sure that you like it, because all you're doing is saying thank you for taking your time out to share your knowledge with me. as well. And so that's your way of your energy exchange. That's all. It's free. Don't count anything. Please make sure that you comment. I've got people that I've had them tangibly help me out so they could comment down at the bottom so we can create the algorithms to change in YouTube. If I don't get a lot of people talking down at the bottom, it doesn't attract people to come to my channel. So again, I stopped that about getting me people to help me, and I had to help them out, give them the grease they palm so they can put comments. Again, I would like for you all to put comments down there too. Again, great job or whatever. What did you mean? Any kind of dialogue down at the bottom because it helps me out with the algorithms as well. Okay. All right, then. Until next time, as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, namago. Mwah. And so I roll the credits and I say thank you to those of you all that were in the Sunshine Lounge. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Mimi, my moderator extraordinaire. Thank you, Joyful Spring. Oh, look at all these new people. 456 in the mix. I like it when I do it at the time. That's that. Thank you, Hope. Thank you, Charm Timeless. Thank you, the Tea Lounge. Thank you, Miss K. All right. Okay, I'm trying to. All right, I'll see you all later. Bye.